Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. I've got a huge box of Spectrums on the bench here today and, well, I'm going to fix at least one of them. I'm not making any promises though. So these are all from my friend Paul Universal Retro Boss, and these are all ready to be repaired. There are, I think, down near the bottom. Yeah, there's some issue ones down near the bottom, but I'm not going to do those today. I've got something special in mind for those. But what we're going to do is, well, look at this one. Let's go for this one at the top here first. What's this? Oh, this one. This one. You know, we could have a look at this one first. This one is the 16K issue 2 that I fixed. I did the modification to the video circuit, which didn't work. It's going to be so hard. I can't test this. So what ideally a lot of people have suggested that it could be the socket for the ULA that is faulty. But even if I replace that, I would then need to send it back to Paul. And this has actually been sold to Matt Desmond over in Canada already. And I don't want to send it back to Paul then and have to get it back and then send it back off to Matt. So what I think I'll do is I'm just going to send it to Matt like it is, and he can change the socket if it needs it, because I think he wants to have a little crack at it. So yeah, I'm going to leave this one. Right, so we've got this one as an option. Works, but press keys and the system resets membrane looks okay. Okay. Horrible condition on this one. Look at that. There's a bit of faceplate hanging off there. So that can go in the selection pile. Yeah, why not? And let's take a plus as well. So we've got crashes every now and then. Composite mod needed. Oh, hang on. Composite modded, screen corrupt, manic mind. What? Oh, no, maybe not that one. I might have already fixed this one. Maybe that just needs more testing. So I'll come to that in separately, I think. What's this one? Oh, we've got a toast rack, black and white. So I think I know what that is. That could be a simple repair. And we've got a dead plus here. So I'm going to take these 4. I'm not saying I'm going to fix all 4 of them, but these are the 4 that I want to target today. So this one works, but press keys and system resets membrane looks okay. That could be a tricky one, so I'm going to leave that till last. Nothing on diag. Black and white columns. Smells like CPU. But an issue 3B with a dark silk screen, that's quite rare. They're usually the ones that you usually see that silk screen on issue 4s and later. Where was this made? Yeah, made in Korea. But it's an issue 3B. They're usually issue 4s. And a slightly unusual coil on this one as well. Looks like the DC-DC mod has been done to this one. Got a tick on the ULA here. Have I fixed this already? All right, so I'm liking that one. A quick look at this one. These QR codes are my own tracking system for all of the repairs, so they won't mean anything to anyone else. I don't think, I mean, if you do try to go to that address, I think it will just, you know, you'll fail to get in because there's security on it. I mean, there is a chance that you might get past my security, but please don't. Okay, so we've got in here, we've got an issue 3. Dash 6 ULA. Ooh, that's a bit of a shame. All of Galec caps in here, apart from that one. There's one black cap down here. There's not much else to say in this one, but this was just dead. So I'm going to start with this one. Yeah, let's start with this one. Okay, so it's not composite modded. So I'm going to use my Henry creation, this marvelous test lead, which I can plug into the RF output for a ground, and this is the video signal, and then just clip that straight onto the video signal as it goes into the modulator. And then it's got a 100 microfarad electrolytic capacitor in line here, and that is basically a composite mod. Now I need some power. My power supply is set to 9 volts, 800 milliamps, which gives me a good indication if something is bad or not straight away. Oh, let's turn it on. 724 milliamps. And nothing on that signal. Just going to plug this into my TV because capture doesn't always give a good picture of the, no pun intended. There's absolutely, it's drawing power, but there's absolutely nothing coming out of that. Not a sausage. What about diagnostics? Do you know what I should have really have done first? I've completely forgotten myself. I'm in C64 repair mode. There's all sorts of checks that I need to do first. Let's get this out of here, and do the checks that I should have done before powering it on. Although it wasn't drawing a lot, and it isn't that terrible to do that, to power it on without testing first, if you're using a current limiting power supply. So resistance tests. Right, tested between ground and the input and output pins. That's the output pin. That's the input pin of the 7805, 1.5K. I think that's okay. Then the voltage rails on the lower RAM. That will be 12 volts, I think. That might be -5, and that's either -5 or 12 volts. Not too bad. And 5 volts. Don't expect to see anything really because nothing really was apparent when I powered it on. So now I'm looking at the coil first. Let's have a quick look across that. I expect, yeah, I'm seeing 25 ohms. That's not good. Let's go on to diode check and then look at TR4 and TR5. This is TR4, black lead in the middle. The 0.6 voltage drop that way. It should be, well, it should be the same that way. So there's a fault there. And then red lead in the middle showing a similar thing. TR5, 0.7, 0.7. That's good. And then red lead in the middle, 1.5, and nothing is normal. So TR4 looks to have carked it. I'll go and grab a replacement and we'll whip that out. Stocks are getting low. Okay, so now I've got that, I can just pop it in here just to check that it is actually the faulty part. And that thinks it's 2 diodes, which technically is, but not rated like that. It should be picking it up as a transistor. I'll put this one in so you can see the difference. There we go, NPN 1.49 milliamp IE. I don't know what any of that means. Right, so I'll put this in the same way around as the silkscreen markings. So flat side on my left. And pop it back in its case. Just for safety reasons. Don't like, you know, bits of solder like this sitting on the workbench. If that gets stuck on the bottom of the motherboard, then that can cause a dead short and catastrophe. You don't want catastrophe in your ZX Spectrum. They're delicate little things. Okay, so now we'll have power. Oh, and we should have, let me just whip that over for a second and show and demonstrate that the coil should now be clear of resistance. it's probably going to show something that, oh no, yeah, there we go. Nice and clear that way, and right, and the voltage drop on TR4 should be nothing there, nothing there, and then 0.6 and 0.6. Perfect. Do we get anything now? I'm looking at the screen this time. Nothing. Right, let's try with the steam card in. Voltage limiting. And nothing on the Steam Card Pro at all. Could be the, we need to check voltages. There could be no voltage getting through there at all. Maybe the voltage regulator has popped. I'm just going to change one of my leads so I can clip it on. This way it gives me a hand free to switch things on and off. If I stick that on there, and this on the output side of the voltage regulator, and turn it on, minus -0.5 volt. Input side, nothing's getting through. Yeah, there's something weird going on there. That I think it might be the 7805 has completely popped. Oh, just spotted something. This is TR7. They said the speaker's here, and just over here to the left of the speaker is TR7, a transistor, and there's a diode next to it that controls it. But you can see that transistor has, yeah, that's had a catastrophic failure, which is a shame because they're also difficult to replace in the same way as TR4 is over here. These big heat sinks are a pain when you're trying to diagnose something. So I think I'm going to put in a 7805 in here instead. I might change that for a different voltage regulator later. Oh, I've just snapped off the legs of that one, so yeah, that one's no good. That might have been the problem, actually. That felt very weak. This is not actually the worst way to get these out, because they can be a bit tricky. I've seen a lot of damage in this area of the board when people have tried to take these out and struggled with the ground plane. There we go. Traco. Let's connect up power first, and then see if that draws any differently. In fact, let's stuff the Steam Card Pro in there and see if that lights up. That'll give us a good indicator if we've now got power. No, still nothing. It's very much current limiting. Well, at least now that the heatsink's out of the way, I've got a better clue. So a good idea, if that is really a short in there somewhere, is to have a look with my thermal camera. Now over this side, that's where I've just changed things, so that's not going to give me a good indicator over there. I don't think the coil was showing open, so that's okay. That's heating up. What's going on? Okay, yeah, I figured it out. This is one of the perils of repairing different things. I had my leads switched around the wrong way. Now, fortunately, it doesn't look like any reverse current has gone into the board. And now when I switch it on, it's there. So let's see if we've got a display first of all. I could have caused some damage. This is one of the things that you really should check. Oh, I forgot. Thing is that it's usually set up for ZX Spectrum repairs straight off the bat. Okay, it's running. I want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video, PCB Way. I talk a lot on this channel about saving vintage machines from leaky capacitors or corroded traces, but as I've just brilliantly demonstrated by putting the power leads in the wrong way round, sometimes the biggest danger to a retro computer is the person trying to fix it. When an over-enthusiastic repair goes horribly wrong, whether you ripped a trace trying to remove a stubborn ULA socket or delaminated a board with a hot air station, PCBWay is your backup plan. If the original board is beyond repair, you can grab the open source replacement files that the community has reverse engineered and upload them to PCBWay and have a brand new professional quality replica motherboard manufactured in no time at all. They also offer top-tier 3D printing and CNC machining if your case has suffered a similarly catastrophic accident. No matter how bad your repair goes, PCBWay has the fabrication services to help you fix it. Check out the link in the description below to get started. Thanks, PCBWay. Let's go to the other diagnostics, a bit clearer. Oh no. Well, that's not very helpful. That's I'll connect this up to capture now that I can get a capturable image out, but I might have broken this one. Although it was dead. Okay, so that's indicating that all of the RAM is bad, which could be down to me. Let's see what Retrolium thinks. Beep, beep, beep. And the speaker is dead because of TR7. So, all right, okay. I need to check that this ULA is not causing the issue here. Let's pop it into my test machine here. Okay, so that's a good thing. The ULA survived. That was the biggest fear. Now, it could be that TR4 going, which you would lose like probably the 12 or the -5 volt rails. And I think if you lose the -5 volt rails, then with just the 12 volt rail there on the voltage bias for these 4116 chips, they can all pop. So if that had been left on long enough, then that could have been could be why these have popped. When I was putting the wrong voltage into this, the power supply was current limiting, so I don't think it would cause any issues. It was not going to give it enough to melt all 8 chips. So I'm not taking the blame. Okay, you can blame me if you want. But I'm giving myself a pass on this one. So I need to take out TR7, and I'm going to start taking out chips from this side and work my way across, and then give them a test in a chip tester and see what is broken. I suspect they all are. And I'm going to have to find either a lower RAM board. I don't think I've got a lower RAM board, or some 4116 chips from somewhere. If that actually will test. You never know. Oh. Yep, just a resistor. Very broken. I'll probably just rob one out of another board for now. So let's get some RAM chips out. There's a little bit of rework done there. Reflow first. I'll see how it goes with this removal with a reflow, and if it goes well, I'm going to try taking the next one out without reflowing, because I think this is quite a nice board to work on. Just from my impressions so far, it seems good. Yeah, really nice. All of the holes seem to be clear. I've got a feeling this chip's just going to fall out. One, yep, it's just come straight out. Right, chip tester. If I change this to 4116, the LED lights up over there to indicate that's where I should put the chip. Here we go, it won't take long. Oh, interesting. That is interesting. So it tested, well, the Steam Card Pro tested and said that all of the lower RAM was faulty, but I doubt that any of it is. I'm unsure where to go next, but I think the best thing to do is to probably start scoping IC3 and IC4. I mean, still could be a CPU problem, but all signs point to these two now. I don't think it's going to be the capacitors. I hope it's not. That'll be disappointing. I don't like it when it's capacitors. I'll just pop a socket back in there. Right, I've had a quick scope around on IC3 and IC4, and I think I found a problem. So this is IC3, and I'm going down. This is pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, pin 4, pin 5, pin 6, pin 7, and pin 8. Now, IC4 and IC3 do very much the same things on their inputs and outputs, and I've not looked at the schematic, so I don't know which pins I'm looking at here. But if you notice that all of these pins down this left-hand side, these 1 to 8, are all like 4.5-ish, getting up to 5 volts peak to peak. So a good logic signal. Now this is pin 1 of IC4, pin 2, pin 3, pin 4, which doesn't look very healthy. That's down at 3.9 volts. Pin 5, pin 6, pin 7, which is even less healthy. That's down at anywhere between 3.2 and 3.7 volts. So that could be where our problem lies. And it's similar story on the other side. So it could be something that's driving this chip that's causing the problem. So there's some mixed signals there. That's a good signal. So I'm tempted just to take it out, because this is a nice easy board to work on, and test it. Although I think the logic tester might struggle with this one, because it's the difference between NMOS and CMOS. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one out. I should probably dig further back and have a look at the CPU. And I know the ULA is okay, but I suspect that it's the CPU driving that signal. So this could be, and I have a sneaking suspicion that it is the CPU. I know when in the past, when I've had suspected wrong polarity damaged machines, the CPU has taken the brunt very often. But I want to check that this is okay. And it's only a 16-pin chip, and it's very easy to take these out. So I didn't reflow that one. I wanted to see how well that would remove without reflowing it. And it looks like all the solder is gone, but it just didn't seem to react in quite the same way. I think it's okay. I might just give these a little nudge with a clean soldering iron, just to free up the last of the resistance. Yeah, not all of those moved. No, it's coming out anyway. Okay, let's check that with the worst tester ever. I can't even remember how to use this. Not found. Well, that is interesting because that should just recognise that. Oh, it might be because I didn't let it do its self-check. No, not found. What is that? 74 LS157. Let's find another one of those. Okay, 74 LS157, same tester. Yep, that found it absolutely fine. So, bad chip. This one's bad. Good chip in. I think there's going to be more bad ones in here. Ooh, bit of a rough chip, this one. No, got some rough legs. Now what do we get? Oh, it's running. Yes. Hey, okay, so that was the only fault on that part of it, but it looks like the upper RAM didn't test at all. Yeah. Well, that looks like all of them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I reckon one of the logic chips for the upper RAM has failed as well, because I don't expect that. Yeah, that would have caused the lower RAM to fail. All right, back out with the scope. So I'm just at the moment just looking for bad signals. Something is causing a fundamental flaw, fundamental error. I don't like the look of that one. That's pin 7 on IC25. Yeah, IC25, pin 7. There's some noise on there. It was probably fine, but... Okay, this is IC24. 2, 3... Why would that one just be high? That's pin 2, pin 3, pin 4, pin 5, pin 6, pin 7, pin 8, pin 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this is IC23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9 didn't look. Well, that's fine, that's not too bad. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then IC26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh, that looks funny. 15, 16. That one look weird. So this is pin 14 of IC25. These are also 157s, and I'd expect pin 14 on both of these to look similar. That looks normal. And on IC26, that doesn't look normal. Right, I had a look at the schematics, and pins 14, they're both address lines. One goes to address line 9 and one goes to address line 13. I think 26 goes to 9, 25 goes to 13. It might be the other way around. The address lines are connected to everything, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility that it's something else causing the problem. But just because that one looked weird, I want to take that one out. It's also right next to this one and closer to the power supply. So there's my reasoning there. There's my logic. You can pull it apart if you wish. But I'm going to stand by it. Let's take that out nice and quick and see if it's broken as well. I just noticed that one of the upper RAM chips has already been replaced. There, that one, IC 19 has been, I didn't notice that before. Yeah, this one's a bit more reluctant to come out. Just a touch of hot air. So this one, not found. Another broken one. I mean, this is a terrible chip tester. I mean, it's cheap and nasty and not very accurate, but it's really good at giving you a pass-fail. It's like, if it's a fail, then yeah, done. Okay, there's another salvage 74 LS157. It's got quite short legs, this one. Yep, that one works. Do not adjust your sets. This blue tack is in fact pink, in honour of Big Clive. Right, so the 4116 memory that wasn't faulty, and I didn't blame myself for that. Well, I blame myself for this. These logic chips going is definitely, almost definitely my fault, my doing, from reverse polarity frying them. Still no sound. Yeah, I might have taken the other ones out as well. Right, so at this point, I think it's worth taking out at least this other 157, the 74 LS00 and the 32 can stay there for now, but there's a good chance that they're dead as well. I'm surprised that that one is working. That's what's given me hope for these ones. So the fact that the IC3 survived and this one didn't. I'm hoping that it's just the 157s. And I've had that before where all of the 157s are gone and these have been okay. So I'm just going to whip that one out, give that a test, and put another one in there. Another one's dead. Not found. This is the carnage you can wreak. It's a 157 as well. 74. Oh, it says HC157. Is that HCT though? No, it's a HC157. That's not suitable. It might work, but I'd need a HCT to be sure it was going to work. This one's a HCT. 74 HCT 157, and it just will drive a CMOS, NMOS. It will drive the signals better than a HCT. Well, that one's recognised as a HC as well, but that could be fake. I'd rather have an LS if I've got one. LS157. Yep, LS157. That's what we need. I don't want to be introducing variables that I need to diagnose, so I want to put in chips that are going to behave in a way that I can trust. Another good thing about this tester, it can tell the difference between, it's not very good at telling the difference between HC and HCT, I think, but it does recognize LS chips. I think it recognizes HCT chips as HC, which isn't ideal because HCT chips are good replacements for LS chips. Okay. I'm hoping that's it. Here we go. Hey. Excellent. Well, so the carnage that I caused was this lot. This transistor here was probably the only thing that was wrong. That probably took the brunt of the reverse polarity voltage and died, but it also didn't die quick enough to save these 3 chips. Sorry, little Specky, it was my fault. I take full responsibility. So the only thing I need to do now is to composite mod this and put replace this ZTX 450 in here. And fortunately, I bought some. So I can just pop one of these in here, then do the composite mod, and then hopefully that's all this one needs. Let's see if we get sound now. Yes. Okay, so we got sound, composite mod. Okay, using a normal composite lead now, and that should be all I need. Yep, looks good. One thing I haven't tested is if the Z80... No, the Z80 was fine because the Steam Card Pro needs to be set up to, it'll either ignore the M1 line, which is a common fault on Z80s, or it won't ignore it. So it's not ignoring an M1 fault. So that means that the M1 is, that CPU is okay. I'm going to pop the Steam card back in because it's got a keyboard test built into it. Yep, the keys are all working. It's not an ideal test because the Plus has a different keyboard layout, so it could all still be, it could be wrong in other places, but I'm playing on a tiny screen here. Nope. Right, that's worked. So all that was wrong with this machine was, well, I can't say for sure. I can't guarantee that that was all that was wrong, but it's pretty likely that the only thing that was wrong with it was that ZTX 650. Oh, we've got another transistor here. Yeah, that's the 450. That's the sound. That was broken. And that was broken. So the power was wrong, and that and the sound was broken. But the voltage regulator and these chips were probably okay, and I killed them by putting in the wrong polarity. Okay, well, apparently you learn from your mistakes. I'm not sure that's true because I'm pretty sure I've done that before. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye. What a fall.